morning, this is Grandpa Ron at the Grand Canyon, the Desert View Tower behind me at sunrise, and we've got a busy day today from the sunrise to the sunset. And in the middle, I'm going to be reviewing a nifty little gauge I got. But first, a few pictures of the canyon at sunrise. Yeah, this is Grandpa Ron coming to you from Desert View Campground in the Grand Canyon area. And today we're going to talk about tire depth gauges, how they work, what you can use it for. Before I got this gauge, I just take a glance at my car and RV tires to see how the depth is. I really didn't pay much attention to it. I just figured they'd go 40 to 60,000 miles, maybe more, with just the occasional rotation every 10,000, and they'd be fine. However, with this RV, it doesn't make much sense to rotate the tires since I got these chrome rims. The tires would have to be removed from the rims. That's just extra wear and tear on the chrome rims and the tires, so I'm not going to do it. This visual method has only let me down once. When I bought the RV, it had 4,000 miles on it. I know that some people had alignment problems right from the Winnebago factory. And I took a look at the front tires and they look fine, so I know that some people had unusual wear. And then we left for a 9,000 mile trip to Alaska. When I returned, I looked at the tires again and I noticed that the outside edge on the tire was worn considerably. So dang, that means the tires are out of alignment. I need to get that taken care of. So I took it to a shop to have the alignment corrected, and sure enough, it was out of spec, not by a whole lot, but enough to cause the problem. After the alignment was fixed, the tires wore more evenly, but the problem had already occurred, so I ended up only getting 40,000 miles on the front tires before I had to replace them. And the rear ones are still good. They probably got another 10,000 to go. So you might be thinking it's better to have the alignment rechecked with the new tires just so they don't wear. But I've never had to have any of my cars realigned, and by the rotating them every 10,000 miles, they've all run evenly. You want to be able to replace all 4 tires at the same time. It's just cheaper that way. So this is where this gauge comes in. I'll be able to accurately measure the depth of the tread across the tire, and I'll be able to see if there's any wear issues before it compromises the tire life. So I spent $20 to get a high-end gauge to save me around $125 on another alignment that most likely I don't need. But here are a few tips to help you get more consistent results. First thing is to brush off any dirt or sand or debris on the tire where you're going to be measuring. You don't want the gauge to be sitting on a stone or sand particles. Pick a spot on the tire that is not on one of those wear indicator strips. Yeah, they're right in the bottom of the grooves to indicate when the tire is officially worn out. First thing is push the indicator pin all the way in. This will allow you to guide it into the center of the tire groove. You want to be in the middle, as the bottom of the groove usually has a radius or a curve next to the sides of the groove. Once you're in the approximate middle, just push the base of the gauge down. You can lift the gauge off and write down the reading. Okay, I'm about 12 and a half, 30 seconds. Then just work your way across the grooves. I got that one, go to the next one. Okay, that one's a little over 12 and a half. and the one furthest in. So they're all pretty reasonable. These middle grooves should all be within a 32nd of an inch. If you do measure the outermost edge, yeah, they're not going to be the same. These particular Michelin's, that measures about 11, but that really depends on the design of the tires. You just want to know if the tire is wearing down faster in one spot than the other. And while you're at it, you might want to check the rear tires too, just to see how they're doing. Because if the tires are wearing more in the middle of the tire, that means you have too much pressure in them. And if they're wearing on both the outsides evenly, then you might not have enough pressure in them. They're too low. Okay, we'll check the rear tires now. First groove. I should have about another 10,000 miles to go before I have to replace them. So that's all there is to it. I'll check the tires another 5,000 miles and see how they're doing, but that wasn't so hard. I'll check my tires another 5,000 miles just to make sure they're doing fine, and if they are, then there's no need to get a front end alignment, and I'll replace the back ones in another 10,000 miles. So just keep records so you can refer back to see how fast they're wearing, and if you want to get that gauge, I really like it. I'll put a link in the description below. Otherwise, this is Grandpa Ron, and I'll see you on the road.